How you doing, guys? This is Richie. And we're going to look through Skulldigger and Skeleton Boy 4, 5, and 6. So, when we last seen them, well, Jeff Lemire, Tonci, Zonjic. So this was during COVID. Remember, our comeback will be bigger than our setback. A bunch of horse shit all that was. Diamond wound up screwing everything up, and now they're out of business. So, anyway, Spiral City, 1976. Skulldigger has just confessed to the kid that he is the son of Grim Jim. Back to 1996. Grim Jim is now torturing Tex. Really bad. I mean, he's chopping off fingers. He's beating on them. Not good. He's trying to find out where Skulldigger's hideout is. He said, now you have debt to pay, Tex, and I plan on extracting that from you any way I need to. A debt? What kind of debt? You stole my son. He says, that boy was starving, filthy. I don't know who he belonged to. Maybe you, maybe one of those crackheads. I saved him. Saved him? You know that's not true. You ruined him. So, Grim Jim would have trained him to be evil. And if you notice the similarities, Grim Jim had the kid locked in that little room, and Skulldigger did the same thing to the other young boy. And eventually it becomes too much after he gets his thumb chopped off, which is pretty brutal. He gives it up. The butcher shop. He's below the butcher shop at Miller and Jansen. Ha! Miller and Jansen. Frank Miller, Claus Jansen. That's at the two streets. That's pretty funny. That's a cool Easter egg nod to two of the greatest to ever do it. So the kid says to Skulldigger, I just patched you up. Where are you going? He says, I heal fast. So he's got the blood of Grim Jim, which is half demon. So I guess he's a quarter of a demon. He says, I'm coming with you. Why? What do you mean? Why do you want to come with me? And why do you want to do this? Because they all need to pay. Because I want to hurt them. I want to hurt them all. Good boy. Let's go. And off they go into the night. Let's make them hurt. All right, so the cop and the captain are going back and forth. You disobeyed an order. He's telling her to knock it off. So Skulldigger and Skeleton Boy are out and about, beating people up, trying to find Grim Jim. They're in a pool hall, beating on criminals, getting information. Kind of like the way Batman would do it. So the lady cop is getting information. Skulldigger was just spotted down on the waterfront in the Whale's Belly bar. Off she goes. So where we go? In the chop shop, and Skulldigger says, next we go home, we need to rest. Can I ask you something? He says, what? Is what you said as true as Grim Jim really your dad? He doesn't answer him. He just says, let's go. The cop got her sights on the dynamic duo over here. So she's following them around. They go into the deli, meat and poultry. So the kid says, so is that a real skull that you like bronzed or something, or just a fake? And he says, it's the skull of my first victim. Someone else has been here. So they know now that someone was in the room, and there's Tex, or his head anyway. in the meat freezer. So Tex is dead. No mayorship for him. And there's Grim Jim, pointing a gun right at him. Says, now I'm going to take yours. He wants to take the kid now. In comes the cop. They're kind of at a Mexican standoff. You, my dear, are ruining our reunion. And he shoots Skulldigger right in the chest, and then she shoots him in the chest. So Skulldigger is shot dead through the heart. And he's out. He's done. And she's trying to take the kid, and he's saying, no, I'm not leaving him. He's got an attachment to him. Get up, get up. And he's bleeding out. And he says, no, it's over. You're coming with me. And she cuffs him. Kid's going through some stuff. All right, number 5. Cool cover. So the kid and the cop are arguing back and forth. He's aggravated. The kid's mad. He wants to kill this cop. He's telling her, I'll kill you. Saying he's a hero. Skulldigger's a hero. You got a lot to learn, kid. A lot to learn, kid, about heroes. So she takes the kid and takes off. And she calls her girlfriend and tells her that she found the kid and they're going to go chill for a few days. He goes, is that your husband or something? And she says, or something. Turns out, Skulldigger's still alive. He wakes up the next day and he's healed. And he's still in the meat place. So he must have put a tracking device in the kid's costume or something, or on the kid, because now he sees, he's able to track him down. So cool splash page. He whips out that motorcycle. Great design. Very nice design. Good page. And the kid's still telling her, I want to go, leave me alone, get me out of here. He wants to go back and check on Skulldigger because he thinks he's dead. He doesn't know that he can heal from something like that. And she's going over some of her past trauma, blah, blah, blah. I could have really did without all this. So they have a tender moment, whatever. And then all of a sudden, the skull smashes the windshield. He found them. And she's like, uh-oh. Oh, no, it wasn't Skulldigger. It was Grim Jim. He took his skull. I'm sure he's got another one. So she tells her, give me the keys or I'm going to kill you. She gives up the keys. He slaps the kid in the face, drags him out of there, and takes off with him in that weird plane that he's got. And just as he's taking off, Skulldigger comes. I'm sorry I lost him. He said, no, we did, and now we're going to get him back. And that is issue number 5. Number 6. They go back in time to Tex, and when Skulldigger was his ward, and he was dressed like a mouse, whatever that is. I guess for the 70s, it fit that era. And then Tex is already seeing that Skulldigger's got violence issues. He almost killed somebody out there. And he's trying to talk some sense into him, calm him down, let him know, hey, relax. And he goes, son. And the kid says, I'm not your son. Back to 96. The cop and Skulldigger are arguing. He's got his skull. You're under arrest. He says, no, I'm not. And she goes, well, I'll just follow you. And he goes, good luck. The car's beat up. Now, Grim Jim wakes the kid up. And what's your name, little boy? He goes, I'm Skeleton Boy. Asshole. And I'm going to laugh when he finds us. He's going to kill you this time. You know that, right? I said, well, first of all, that's a great name. Truly, I approve. Secondly, that naughty mouth, I also approve. Third, come give Grandpa a hug. So they're all he's trying to track them down, and they're flying, and he's coming up, and he's fighting all of Grim Jim's underlings. Then we get this double-page spread here. Great color work. I like that purple. Good design for a criminal. I really like it. He's like kind of a demon, kind of a skull head. The kid's tied up. It's like, stereotypical comic booky ending. So they're fighting. He takes out the guards. The kid's tied up. He breaks this guy's back. There's a lot of nods to comics from years ago. The Batman, the breaking of the bat, and Frank Miller, the street, Miller Street, and it's funny because when did this happen? This happened in 92, and in 92 I was 20 or 21 buying comics off the rack. I've been buying books since the late 70s. So it's funny seeing all these, nods to the books that came before. So they're fighting. Grim Jim and Skulldigger. He eye gouges him. Now that's an improper way to gouge an eye. If you're going to gouge somebody's eye, you palm the face and then put your finger in side to side. That's the proper way to gouge. Doesn't always work. It's tough to get that. Words of advice for anybody if you're going to gouge an eye. Anyway, he gets the best of him. Man, Grim Jim doesn't even have any shoes on. Well, here's the good news. You have my blood. We can't die. We never die. We can just do this little dance again, and again. That's kind of creepy. So the kid's putting on the costume she cut him loose. And he goes, it was fun playing with you too, little boy. Grandpa will see you again real soon. He says, farewell, my son. And he says, Skeleton Boy, let's go. We could catch him. Come on. And she's saying, you don't have to. He's saying, yeah, I do. No, you don't. Come on. I'm sorry. I can't help what I am, the kid says to her. She says, yes, you can. You always can. And then you see the kid torn between being an anti-hero and going with the lady and living a normal life. Great hand. So the cop goes home to her girlfriend. I'm sorry. I know you tried. Yeah, I did. And the kid went with her instead of going with Skulldigger. Was he nuts? I definitely would have went with Skulldigger. Well, you gonna live your life with these two right here? You have to be out of your mind. So there's someone I want you to meet. Teresa, this is Matthew. The end. Oh, that really bummed me out when I first read it, man. So there has been some other stories in some of the Black Hammer books. I haven't read them yet. So I know there's another little Skulldigger story out there. I just got to track it down. Interesting characters, interesting story. You could do a lot with it. I really wish you would revisit it. But it's been, 5 years now, or 4 years. See what happens, hopefully. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. and I'll catch you on the next one.